So thread in Java. So what actually multi-threading is? Threading is the feature that is provided in Java, which is used for concurrency. Okay. So thread is what, like where we can execute multiple process at the same time. So in thread, we'll have some like method, which are known as thread lifecycle. So those methods we can find in thread class. Instead of this, thread can also be implemented with runnable interface. So either you can call this a runnable interface or you can implement this thread class. So this should be extended because that is a class, and this should be implements if we are going to discuss about the thread. So how we can create a very basic program of thread. So let me create a Java project. Thread test. I'm just going with Java 1.8 works fine, and then finish. Yep. So I need to change the perspective. Now I'm just going to create a very simple class. There we can create a package because default package is not suggestible. pom.java.test thread. This is my package name. Now my class name is thread call. I'll go with main and then finish. All right. Now see, this is a simple main method which I'll have. Now I just want to call thread class. So first of all, I need to implement any class name, like this is first thread. And there I'm going to create a method. That method is public void run. And there I'm just going to print sys out hi from run method. All right. So this run method belongs to this class, which is first thread. And this is a simple run method. I'm just going to create object of this class, call this method first thread. Okay, first thread equals to new first thread. Now object is created, first thread dot. Now see, we'll find this run method over there, right? So in this run method, if you will check, so this method belongs to thread class. At I mean this first thread class. So if we are going to run this method or this program, so we'll get this output. Okay, output is not our concern. Our concern is thread is implemented or not. So like, see, if you notice control space, so there we'll get some method of object class and only one method of this class, which is first thread. So how we can impose the feature of thread? To impose that feature, we need to extend thread control space. Now thread is in which package? Thread is inside java.lang package. In this we can find thread class. So now if I'll press control space, so you will find there are multiple methods which are loaded from thread class. There we'll have one method which is a start. Okay. So now what is thread lifecycle? In thread lifecycle, we'll have start. After that, we'll have run method. Okay, and we'll have a stop method. Apart from this, we'll have several method in thread class. What are those that I'm going to tell you? Now see, if any thread is start, that will automatically call run. Okay, if this method starts, so that will automatically call run method, right? So that we can test here. So I just need to type start, save. Now see, we had not called this run method over there. Okay, we only call this start method, which belongs to thread class. Now if I'm going to run this code, what should be the output? This is the output. Now this run method does not belongs to this class. Now this run method belongs to thread class. Okay, where we can check this thread lifecycle or the functionalities, we can open this thread API. Okay, there you will find multiple methods. We can find the constructor of this thread class as well, and methods that even you can check in your console as well. Like what we can do, we can open our console in system. One second. And there, see, the path must be set. So we require this java p java dot lang dot thread. If path is set, so we'll get the complete API implementation. This one. I can increase the size of this once again. Font 24 works fine. So there you can find the methods. We'll have sleep method. Okay, run method is there, stop method is there, interrupt is there, destroy is there. Okay, we'll have suspend, resume. These all are the method of thread lifecycle. So we can, first method should be start, then it can be go to run. Okay, from run, it can jump to either like if we'll get any interrupt, so it can suspended, okay, yield, sleep, anything. Sleep required a parameter, and after that, it go and resume. So once it will come back to resume, so that will automatically call this run method. The resume will call run method, and there will be a flow, like until and unless this process will not complete, so we will get this type of like a cycle. First start call once only and stop call once only, right? And after that, run, sleep, resume, suspend. These method will call independent. Okay, based on your whatever you had set up on your code. So this is the very simple implementation of this thread. Now, how we can implement this thread with an interface. So in this case, I need to create a new class. So that is test interface. I'll go with main and then finish. Now there, see, Runnable is an interface as we know. I'm just going to implement class test, and there I'm going to implement Runnable. Once again, R should be capital. So see, if you are going to implement this, so this is an interface. What is the restriction with interface? Interface required, all methods should be override. Okay, override in class if you are implementing an interface. So Runnable is a functional interface. Okay, that is a functional interface. Like that will have a annotation should be like this. What is the meaning of functional interface? The interface which have only one method, and which what is that method? That method is run. So see, if I'll hover my mouse over there, I'll find add unimplemented method, and I'll get this method, which is over, where we can check the implementation there. This is a functional interface, okay, and there will only have one method, which is run. So if you are going to call this, so it means you required this run method. Now they are the same approach we are going to use. Sysout hi from run. Okay, guys. So if I'm going to implement this code, okay, this section in main block. So what happened? See, this is our main class. So first of all, we cannot directly call this method test control space test equals to new control space. Right now we'll have test dot run. Again, there is no functionality belongs to thread. So what we require, guys, like say if I'm going to run, we'll get output, but again, output is not our concern. We require thread to be implemented there. So how can we implement thread in this case? So in this case, if you'll notice, where are the constructor of this thread? This is a default constructor. Okay, apart from this, we'll have a constructor which required runnable. Okay, it means we are now going to call this runnable inside our code with this thread object. So now we need to create object of thread equals to new, and it required runnable target. See, because now we need to pass runnable interface. I'm just going to put it there, and automatically it call test, because see, in test I'll have this. Now I don't require this line. I need to call this with thread object, thread dot start. Right now, let me check this. That works. This, like, if you'll notice, see, obviously this is a thread class that must have all the method of thread, but again, we are going to call this start. Right, so this is the interface based implementation. Now, what is sleep? Okay, like ideally, how can we call this sleep method? So see, sleep is what in this code. I'm just going to call sleep method. Not required. Oh, one second. What I can do, I can create a new class call sleep method, class call sleep. So how can we implement sleep? So in this case, we require a simple method, which is public void test call. Okay. Now see, sleep is a static method. So we need to call this with class name head.sleep. And see, when you are going to call the sleep method, so what happened? This is a static method. Sleep is a static method. And this method required an exception, which exception occurs at runtime. See, because there we are going to interrupt a process. The process will be interrupted. So it means we'll get a exception, which is interrupted exception. So whenever, and this is a checked exception. So thread.sleep, this is, it means, see, this process will sleep for 1 second. See, now why we are getting this red symbol? Because that required an exception. So this will be the exception, interrupted exception. And we can test this by using a for loop. So for integer I equals to 0 semicolon, I should be less than 10 semicolon I plus plus. Now we can print something inside this block, that is sys out I from thread equals to plus I. So looks fine. Now we can call this method in our main class. We don't require this section. We can put this in command. All right, so this is my class. Sleep should not be the word. Call equals to new call sleep. Now call dot second, what is our method? Test call. Right now we can test. All right, so this process is executing with interval of 1 second. This is how sleep method. But for example, if we'll have two classes, okay, in the same way, if we'll have two classes, this is first class, right? And call sleep 1. Okay, so this is second call sleep 1. And then call 1 dot second test call is, oh yeah, this is our method. Now we can check our output high from thread 2. Okay, now what should be the change? The change we can test in our browser. So looks fine. All right. Now we can call the same method in this class. Okay. And now we are not going to call with this object. We are just going to call this with previous class object. See, because now we can remove even this class. 1 second. This is our code structure. Okay. Now I'm going to run this, right click, run as Java application. So hi from thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. Okay, and then this new thread started. So in this way, what we can do, see, based on upon the like the setup or everything, you can call sleep method with a interval of 1 second. Right. So this is about the basic implementation of thread, where we had covered the method of the life cycle start. Okay, we'll have sleep, we'll cover run. Okay, so multiple methods are there that you can check in this API, I mean this class description. We'll have run, we'll have stop. Okay, we'll have synchronize, stop, interrupt. Okay, is interrupted, destroy. So multiple methods are there. Apart from this, what we'll have in thread. Okay, so in thread, what we can do, if we want, so we can like fetch the name of the respective thread as well. So how can we do this? So in this case, what I'll do, I'll just put this section in command. Okay, because we are not going to call this sleep method, right? And now this should be our main class. Let me cut it from there and paste it just below this class so that you'll get to know this is the complete structure. Okay, we don't require these methods now. Once again, and this. Now this is our very like the first implementation which we had done. So there I'll have this thread. Okay, now thread is already there. And if we want to check that like what is there any current thread is running. So in this main, we can print sys out thread dot get. So one second, thread is not working. That should be okay. Thread dot see, yeah, current thread dot get name. Right. So with this, what we can do, we can get the name of our thread as well. So main, what is this thread name? Main, because we are just deploying this inside a main class. So this is the way how we can fetch the name of thread. Right. Apart from this, we can set priority as well. Okay, so like if you require to set the priority of thread, so that we can also implement. So what ideally priority? Priority of thread is we'll have 3 priority, and that you can find even in this keyword as well. One second, sys out thread dot get. Okay. See, this is the priority. Maximum priority, minimum priority, normal priority. Right. So what is the maximum priority? Maximum priority in thread, that is 10. So maximum equals to 10, minimum equals to 1, and then we'll have normal. So normal is 5. This is the priority of thread that we can set in any program. So how we can set this thread priority? So we need to create a new class. So that is test priority main finish. Looks fine. Okay. Now, how we can set any priority of thread? So for example, I'll have a thread, and that thread name is T1 equals to new. Thread. How see why we can create the object? Because this thread is in like the main, I mean the lang package. So we are just going to set priority. Okay, now it required. So for example, I'll go with 6. So this is the priority that I can set at my end. Okay, and now see, for example, I'm just going to create another thread, T2, right? And there, okay. So see there, if I'm going to set another priority, so T2 dot set priority. And now there, what we can do, we can set this to maximum, minimum based on our choice. So we'll have thread dot max priority, right? Now this thread is having maximum priority. Okay, and we can test this if we want. We can print this anything. So this is the way that how we can set the priority, right? So this is all about thread. That's it, guys. Thank you.